Trust me, there's so much out there that's for you. Sometimes you have to let go. You have to be rejected in certain situations in order to open up other paths for yourself. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Judy. I make videos on self-discovery with the occasional self-help type of video, and it's going to be one of those today. I recently got a DM from one of you guys asking to make a video on how to deal with rejection, and I was thinking about it for a while, and I don't really struggle with rejection much myself these days. In the last few years, it wasn't something that really kind of struck with me, but it was something that I struggled with in the past. And I think it is also to say that because I don't struggle with it now, I must be doing something right there. So I feel like that was kind of enough justification to make this video. And I also realized that a lot of you guys had recently applied for colleges and are just now waiting to hear back in regards to whether you guys are going to be admitted or not. And some of you guys might be dealing with like romantic relationship type of things in regards to rejection. So let's get into all of that today. Okay, so let's get started here. Regardless of whether you were actually rejected or it's fear of rejection that you're struggling with, I think it really comes down to how you think about rejection, how you see it. Because if you see rejection as a reflection of your character every single time, when, you know, in a lot of situations, it might not be a reflection of you, but perhaps there might have been another person that was just a better fit. And even though you are amazing yourself, like let's say you're applying for a job position and you basically check all the boxes for what they're looking for in terms of all those prerequisites, there could still be another candidate that just has one more box, or perhaps knows somebody within the company and is able to network themselves in. It doesn't mean that you aren't good, but if you see yourself as someone who is not good enough every single time you're rejected, then you're going to struggle with rejection a lot more than, say, someone who sees rejection in a different way. Someone who sees rejection as, okay, this isn't a reflection of my character. It may or may not be, but it's something that I probably have to look into a bit further. But it could just mean it shows like areas where I can improve, or it could also mean that there is something else that is meant for me. So I really think it comes down to how you view rejection first and foremost. Really take inventory of your own thought patterns. Are you someone that tends to catastrophize? Do you always think of the worst possible scenario? If so, then it would be really helpful for you to think about other possible reasons why you're rejected and not make that general conclusion that it must be that worst possible scenario that you're catastrophizing about. And I know it's really tough, especially when you really wanted something, especially, and then you get rejected. It's very easy to have a narrow vision towards why and just conclude that. And it's really easy once you get into these negative thought patterns just to keep adding and adding on to that. But I want you to step outside of that for a moment, step outside of those intrusive thoughts, and really look at the big picture as a whole and let go of any of these intrusive thoughts as they flow. There's so much for you. And I also want to get into that too. Like, I want you guys to see the big picture. Sometimes you have to let go. You have to be rejected in certain situations in order to open up other paths for yourself. For myself, I was rejected when I was in university. So I got into my dream university, also got into the program that I wanted. I got into the science program, but I wanted to pursue pharmacy. I realized that in my second, third year that's what I wanted to do. And so I had applied for pharmacy school and I got accepted for the interview. So I had the grades for it. And when it came to the interview, I completely had self-sabotaged. I completely flunked that. And I thought it was just the worst possible thing ever. And I thought, what am I going to do now? I have this, I'm going to be graduating this science degree, but there's nothing else that I want to pursue in sciences with this. What am I going to do? Because I was able to see outside of that, I was able to open myself up to different opportunities, and I ended up in tech sales. And I'm so fortunate that I had gotten into it because it has given me so much freedom in my life when it comes to like flexibility, being able to do things like work from home. And in terms of like compensation, I think it's much better compared to if I even pursued the pharmacy route or even pursued anything that I would have science-wise. But who knows, maybe if I did continue that route, it would have been different. But I am very happy with the situation I am today. So I just want you guys to look at the bigger picture. Like, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Even if you are rejected in this instance or you're fearing rejection, it's a lot of times not as big of a deal as you may think it is in the grand scheme of things, of course. To really drill this in further, I'm going to share with you guys a story. It's a story from Taoism, and I'm going to probably terribly paraphrase it, but I'm going to say it exactly how I remember it. I'm probably going to miss out on a lot of details, but the whole point is for you to extrapolate the meaning out of this. So there was once this farmer who had a horse, and then he took it to some horse show and he won some award, and he was basically praised for this. But the farmer commented that, you know, you don't know if this was a good thing or a bad thing that the horse won this award. And so shortly after, there was some thieves. The thieves had stolen that horse, and then everybody was like, oh, you have such bad luck because your horse got stolen. But the farmer was like, well, you don't know if it's good or bad. And the thieves had stolen the horse because it had won a prize, so they saw that horse as valuable, right? So a little after that, the horse comes back. The horse comes back, and the horse comes back with a whole bunch of horses. Like, I don't know if they found its family or something like that, but it came back with a whole bunch of horses. And then everybody was like, oh, wow, you're so lucky. Farmer again was like, I don't know if it's good or bad. But then the farmer had a son, and the farmer's son got his leg injured from one of the horses. And so everybody was like, oh, you're so unlucky. And again, the farmer was like, you don't know if it's good or bad. A little later, again, I think there was a war that was drafted. Yes. So there was a war that was drafted, and then everybody was sent to war. Everybody who was able to fight was sent to war. But because the farmer's son, he had his leg injured by that horse, he wasn't able to go to war, get drafted. And everybody was like, oh, you're so lucky. So basically the whole premise of it is that you don't know if something is good or bad. So even if you got rejected, you don't know in the grand scheme of things if that is good or bad. It's really up for you to interpret the meaning. And I think the way that you think of things is a huge game changer, which is why in pretty much all of my videos, I talk about reframing. Because if you can reframe how you think about something, what you believe, then how you feel about something, that's going to change along with it. And things like dealing with rejection, it's not going to seem as big of a deal for you anymore because, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, you know, it could mean that there's something better for you. There was this meme that I saw a little while back, but basically, if I can find it, I'll include it in here. But there was this big teddy bear, and there was this, I basically told you the ending of the meme. Okay, no, scratch that. So there was this little kid who was holding this like little teddy bear, and he was like not wanting to let go of that teddy bear. But he wasn't able to see that behind him there was like a gigantic teddy bear. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, you don't really know like what's in store for you. So try to think of things in a way that would be actually constructive. And if the thing that you got rejected from was something that you truly, really wanted, let it be a way for you to see where you can improve next time. A lot of times you don't get what you want the first time around. It could be a timing thing, but it also could be a way for you to see where you can improve so that you can get a better result next time. And I think it also builds a lot of character as well when you also don't get something you want the first time around. You get that rejection because you kind of have to like humble yourself a bit. I think it builds a lot of character. Another thing that really comes to mind when dealing with rejection is whether you have a lack versus abundance mindset. I think this is huge. So if you think of rejection and you have an abundance mindset, then when you're rejected by, let's use dating as an example, like you get rejected by a guy or a girl, then it's not that big of a deal for you because you know that there's so many people out there that could be a good fit for you. You're not fixated on that one person to make you happy. Versus someone who has a lack mindset, they might be so fixated that I might not ever find anybody better than this person. Nobody else can make me as happy. Nobody else can make me feel this way. And you know what? If you continue to believe that, you're just going to keep finding things in your reality that affirm that. So I think it's really important to really shift your mindset from that lack to that abundance mindset, because it'll really help free the way that you think about things like rejection. I just want to say that there's so many opportunities out there for you. This one opportunity that you're so fixated on, that you're afraid of being rejected from, or perhaps you did get rejected, but you just really are so hung up over. Trust me, there's so much out there that's for you. So many opportunities, so many things that can make you happy, so many things that you can find joy in doing or pursuing. And if it's a romantic relationship, there are so many people out there, and you just need one person. Like, I don't even know how many billion people there are right now, but there's so many people out there, and you just need one person, assuming you're like wanting a monogamous relationship. So, you know, with the probability, with those odds, it's looking pretty good. To really tie up everything that I talked about in this video, what it all boils down to is not really just reframing how you think about things, but really reframing things in order to get yourself to the point where you can just accept things for the way they are, accept reality for what is. And the reality is, there are so many opportunities for you. There are so many people that you can pursue romantically, have friendships with, jobs that you can apply for, colleges that you can go to. You don't even have to go to college if you don't want to. There's so many different jobs. Like, there's just so much out there in this world, and there's so much that's constantly like going on that you really just, it's really difficult when you're so fixated on something, and that's a reality. And I just want you to get to the point where you're in acceptance, because if you are so fixated on rejection, how can you get yourself to acceptance? As you can see, rejection, acceptance, they're two opposing ends of one spectrum, right? What I want to do is help you get to that point where you're in the accepting side. So a lot of that is really reframing how you think. But if you can get yourself to the point where you're straight up accepting, it's gonna be a lot easier for you. So that's all for this video. I hope that it was really helpful. I really missed talking to you guys. And if you found this video helpful, please drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let me know what other videos you guys would like to see. I love you guys. Until next time, peace.